VidGamesFTW.
Welcome back to more post-comment. This is the last post-commentary.
Yes, and then after this, we should be good.
Yes, we can get back to actual conversations that we were having originally.
Yes, exactly. And
oh, you didn't fall. Good job.
I think you probably did tell me.
Probably. Oh,
and then you pointed out another bear to me.
It was so funny because I probably explained it in the original recording for this. When I fucking, that fucking hurt.
Why are you hurting yourself on the recording?
I wonder if the microphone caught that. My two fingernails touched and it flicked one and it hurt. Anyway, it's like when
there's an image for you.
It's the equivalent of when a girl bends her nail and she goes ow, and it's like. Ugh.
Have you ever seen those videos where you have a little strip of skin, you pull it and it goes, eek, and it's like a whole line. And
ew! Oh god, that's
it's
disgusting.
like the cringiest thing in the entire world. I hate. There you go. I got that image for you guys.
I hate that. Welcome to Ratchet Part 9. Anyway, what was I saying?
I don't remember.
Oh, the Cracker Bears. So, it's really funny because it took me a while to find the Cracker Bears. Because I thought it was just the one. And then I saw it's like, there's a trophy get one Cracker Bear. And then there's another trophy, get them all. And it's like, alright. And for the life of me, I couldn't find them on while I was first playing the game. So that was one of the few things I had to look up. And I was like, these are the most fucking just, here they are places. And now it's like, okay, it's here, on this planet, it's here. It's like, I know where they all are now.
I like little side collectibles like that. I think one of my, not counting, a lot of games on the Nintendo 64, but when I was little, one of the first games, after, and not including the N64, the first console I had was the original Xbox. And, so that's where I got into Halo. Mm-hmm. And after the first one, they started incorporating hidden skulls into the games, which could actually have little they would have game mechanics attached to them that would add some extra challenge and stuff to them. Totally pointless and unnecessary at all unless you want to just for achievements or whatever. But that ever since I was like that this is really cool because it's just an extra reward for going out of your way to explore areas you wouldn't normally. And ever since then, I've always liked things like those Cracker Bears and stuff, because obviously I don't know where any of them are because it's the first time playing. So Marcel will just be in the middle and he'll be like, Chase, go to your left.
And it's because I know where they're now. Mind you, again, I didn't find them all on my own, but now that I know where they are, it's like, okay, well, Jesus, I could have found that on my own if I just looked hard enough. But sorry for the creaky ass chair, if you can hear that. There's a glitch segment.
Oh yes. More glitch. I like glitch.
Glitch is a cute little spider.
He's satisfying to play as because he's just like.
She is the greatest introduction. No. Oh, and the battery's low. Great.
Too bad it's in the recording, so.
But one of the things I was saying earlier too, speaking of side stuff to grab from the last part with our post commentary was the little lore orbs or lorbs. We didn't get all of them because this is our entire Savali run. So by the time post commentary is done, in the next episode we're going to, I think it's Blizzard. So with Savali, we didn't get all of the lorbs. We only got a couple. I think just the ones we grabbed here. We might grab more in this part. I don't know. We'll see. But we didn't do them all. Not that you're missing out on much on one hand, but on the other hand, A, you get some sick armor out of it when you talk to a guy off in the distance. And then two, or B, when you listen to them, because I don't know if we even listened to them, in the little menu, they just make some really cool and silly PlayStation references. So it's a Lombax going, alright, I'm keeping these little logs for myself, and I have to document and chart out all these dimensions for the big old map we're making. And then each entry is like, okay, planet such and such and such, dimension such and such. These guys are weird, and he'll start describing shit, and it's supposed to be like, oh, that's a reference to Jack and Daxter, a reference to Sly Cooper, yes. A reference to Little Big Planet. And it's really cool. But that's what they do, basically. The little lorbs.
I like the amount of variety of stuff in this game too. Like different types of items, the different areas you go to. You got little minigame-esque kind of things like glitch in it, and all of it just feels like really consistent and high quality. There's no like, I haven't, when I've been playing this game, I haven't done anything where I was just like, this just not stand up to the rest of the games really. You know, like everything feels nice. I've been really happy with this game.
Yeah. No, Insomniac's been really good. I don't know how consistently they've been good. With Ratchet, they have been good consistently in the realm of the Ratchet franchise. But in terms of all their franchises, one of the most experimental, the two experimental things that I could say they've really ever done that people
Good job, Glitch.
that people might find hit and miss are the Resistance series and Sunset Overdrive. Because Sunset Overdrive, while I thought it was really fun, haven't played much of it in hindsight, but that was a really big experimental thing they did. It was an Xbox.
I remember
exclusive.
that being a fairly big talking point for a while when that game came out.
Because it was so different from everything else they've done.
Uh-huh.
So I thought it was cool because I liked the concept and it was so flashy. And Wes and I talked about it on West Side Studios for Trash Talk. So it was an E3 reveal back in like 2014 or something.
A while ago.
13 or 14. So I was like, shit, this looks pretty cool. So when I decided to finally get an Xbox One, because that was the first and really it's been the only console I've bought for Xbox I've bought for myself because I bought your 360 off you, and Wes, as a little like joke present, got me the original Xbox. I was like, joke's on you, because there are actually some Xbox exclusives I've been wanting to play.
Yeah.
So
not as many, but some.
A few.
Yeah.
Like from there we played like Blinks and a couple other things here and there.
Yeah, Blinks is a very nice original platformer, and unfortunately is one of the few that even exist on the original Xbox console.
If you want like just some brand new for the time, like completely original ass, like just like platformer-esque adventure game with a potential mascot character, like Blinks would be the one for Xbox. Because like that's the thing that everyone says, like Xbox is better, and I'm like, okay, because you love their shooters and like their MMOs or whatever they probably have on there, but like, or whatever. See, I don't even fucking know. But like,
okay.
But it's like, or their hack and slashers or whatever. But first off, a lot of those are third party, or not third party. Sorry, multi-platform. So you can play those on
let's see,
PS4, PS5. Hell, you can play some of those on Switch. So Xbox doesn't even have that going for it. And I'm not trying to go against Xbox. I'm just saying.
Some of the biggest ones, and most of the big ones are shooters. Like Halo, obviously. Gears of War. Is another one. Right, I have friends that played all of that.
People will still play Call of Duty and Battlefield on there, even though they're also for PlayStation.
Yeah, exactly. Those are double associated. But yeah, like Halo is obviously it's like the really big one.
And it's like while Nintendo is solely like, okay, their most like quote unquote mature series they really have is like Metroid, and Metroid Dread just came out, so there's that guy was jump roping with his own arms.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
But you still have some variety, even though a lot of it's kid friendly. You got Mario, Zelda, Kirby, Pokemon, stuff like that.
Because Nintendo usually tries to float around the E10.
Yeah, but there is still some variety there. So when you see something like Smash Brothers, each character in each franchise represented, they're all quite different for the most part, and all in their own right. Then you see PlayStation, and you might first think, well, they just got some of them might be okay, but then you got like God of War, Horizon,
Final Fantasy,
Astrobot, Little Big Planet, again, Sly, Jack. Those are all PlayStation exclusive. And to see something like either Astro's Playroom, which put a lot of those in as Easter eggs, or even PlayStation All Stars, you'll see that there's still a lot of variety even with that. Tekken. Well, Tekken's gone multi-platform, but Tekken and Crash and Spyro were all PS1 before they all went multi-platform. So, actually, I don't even know the reason why Tekken or Soul Calibur went multi-platform. That's strange. But anyway, I digress. I don't know. PlayStation. Point being, PlayStation also has a lot of variety in its own right with its IPs.
Yes.
It's got numerous IP that are first party. Everyone knows whether they're gritty and whatever or not. A lot of them still are very kid friendly and awesome and harken back to the PS2 days.
I feel like Xbox's strength, not discounting the first console, because obviously they were pretty new to the industry, while everyone else had experience. You know, that's why
Yeah.
Xbox original console was not a super strong contender. I mean, it was a fair console and it had some good games on it, but comparatively to Nintendo's and PlayStation's console, it was just a weaker console.
Yeah.
You know, there's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's just the reality of the situation, right? But that's where Xbox Live came into place, right? It was, to my knowledge, the first one to truly support online play, which was a big deal. And that was definitely one of the big points of an Xbox, you know, and I think that's always what they've tried to do is focus a little bit more, and especially now with their Game Pass, is more of the service side of it than
I was gonna say
PlayStation is more about like the amazing exclusives, you know.
Yeah, online play as it is today, as we know it today. Also because Microsoft, obviously with their PC stuff, and through Steam, Microsoft and by extension Xbox, I think is the one that did, for the most part, pioneer modern online play as we know it, which is fine. Big contributor, big again pioneer, because PlayStation 2 did have online connectivity and you could play certain games online, but it was again a very new concept at the time, so they didn't. PlayStation, as far as I'm aware, didn't dive into it as deep as I feel they
Not
probably could have
until the PlayStation 3.
3.
Yeah, the Xbox
pretty much did that.
The
and ran
Xbox
with
Live early on was
Yeah.
very much the dominating online force.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna knock that. Nothing wrong with it. Everyone loves online now. A lot of games are online, so
I know.
you know.
Yeah, even a lot of single players usually have some kind of online component to them. You know, it's just kind of a thing that
Par for the
come to
course now.
expect in games. I know.
Yeah, Xbox recently has been trying to. They've now been trying to go like the route of like, okay, through subscription you can have a couple backwards compatible stuff, go back to our older library. And I heard recently, so this is kind of dating the post commentary and we did this like a month ago, but there was a patent or something or a something or other out there for Sony. They want to do something similar, so they may have a subscription service in the future where you can potentially. It's their response to everyone saying, "How can the PS5?" Because people were hoping the PS4 would be backwards compatible with PS1, 2, and 3, and it wasn't, not in the traditional sense anyway. And so people were like, "Well, hopefully for PS5, it's backwards compatible with like everything because it's only backwards compatible disc-wise with 4." I think this is the response to that. I guess they just couldn't somehow do it or what, but to have just traditional, like how the PS2 or PS3 or Xbox 360 or the Wii, even with the GameCube, could do it, just pop a disc in for the past console and just play it.
Well, Xbox 360, it wasn't perfect. I think you had to have a Platinum Edition game. Like, it wouldn't work with everything.
No, I know it wasn't perfect, but the fact that you can still do it was still... People,
at least
were
with a
fine
lot of
with
the popular titles and stuff, yeah.
Yeah. Woo! But, you just try to go and you're like, oh shit, wait. With Insomniac, going back to Insomniac real quick. But the most... They've been very consistent with the quality of their games. Ratchet never was this streamlined, but it still had this quality was definitely there. This is current gen, next gen, whatever you want to call it, polish, because this game looks fucking amazing and plays amazing.
You can see how it's changing the zones like really quick, like when you go through those portals. It's really cool.
Woo! But even though the older games didn't have that, it still shit. You barely made that.
Are you doubting me? Are you doubting me post?
I was probably doubting you during the actual gameplay. I was like, you're gonna die! But listen, it's meant to be a very scary jump, so like, it's whatever. But, no, like I said before, even before post commentary had to happen, Ratchet as a franchise has always been very consistent in its quality. Again, visually, this is fucking amazing, and this can only be done on PS5. But the other games, in their own right, have looked really amazing. They play really well, and they have the exact same feel to it.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't know which game. There was one of 3 choices, like I said before. The very, very first game, the reboot on PS4, or this one. I had to talk it over with Miharu, and she said probably do Rift Apart because it's so beginner friendly. Not all the Ratchet games are beginner friendly in that sense, where it's that accessible. But the fact this one is cool. You could tell that they wanted to kind of maybe play it safe a little bit with this one. Again, there's some repetitive bits here and there. We're gonna face a lot of these guys in the later on, and stuff like that. But stuff repeats. There are only like 9 or so planets.
Most of the nitpicks are kind of small. I remember we
had
a couple. I had a glitch or two where we were like, "There's one guy and we can't find him because he's stuck on something."
Yeah.
But most of the nitpicks are tiny.
I mean, that right there, what I was saying, those are pretty much my nitpicks, yeah.
Yeah.
The only bigger things, like I was saying back in like part 1, were that there were some glitches that could break your console. You'd have to like completely, you couldn't even turn the console off. You'd have to literally unplug it and plug it back in, and hope it didn't fuck anything up. Because that happened to me twice, I think. But I think those have been patched out. So shouldn't run into that. I hope I don't jinx the playthrough by saying that, but we shouldn't run into it. Other little things, like getting stuck or whatever, enemies getting stuck, that should hopefully be patched out as well, but those are about as big as the negatives go with this game. Everything else is pretty damn solid.
Mm-hmm. Big bad invasion commander.
Oh, I wonder where we haven't seen this guy before. and this time they said let's give you 2 of them to fight at the same time. You got hit by the other one. Off screen there he is. Yeah, and they do the same attacks and everything. It's not like even that these guys you see come back again and again and again, that they do different attacks. No, it's the same. It's that.
That was actually one of my...
He hit his friend.
That was actually one of my biggest complaints when it comes to Breath of the Wild. As the enemy variety. You have this giant world and you're fighting moblins everywhere. Where, like, there's not a lot of zone-specific enemy types. You know, like if you go... Because you've played a little bit of some of the other Zeldas now, and you can kind of see, like, when you're in the forest, you have, like, these, like, the Deku Baba plants and spiders and this and that, and you go to the fire area, and you have, like, the Dongo lizards and stuff, and so, like, the enemies change a lot. I mean, some of them carry over into different areas, but you usually have a lot of enemies that are specific to the zone, where in Breath of the Wild, it's not very true.
Yeah, I do like when a common enemy like Goombas or something, like you'll always see them in almost every world in a Mario game. But every world has its specific enemies. Every level sometimes has its specific enemies.
Yeah, because usually, you know, like Bowser in Mario's case or Ganon or whatever is going to have their main baddie, you know, that they use, you know, but yeah, having that extra variety is really nice. But this game has a fairly decent variety, but yeah, it can be a little bit.
There are more variety, like the guys that you see, like the little slime. I don't know if you remember them, the little green slime guys or the little sand sharks.
Yeah.
Not only are those callbacks because they're some of the first enemies you'll see in the very first Ratchet game, but they come in, they hop in every so often in this game. But again, they kind of are even sidestepped for robots, juggernauts. Grunthors. There's a guy stuck. We have no idea where he is. Where is he?
Where he be at though? Probably underneath. I think he was.
I think at this point you were like, okay, I did it, and we were like, what the fuck? Thankfully I knew. I was like, it's an enemy. He's just stuck somewhere. Because when this happened to me, I was like, did the game?
Wow, he was like basically dead. I just barely touched him right there.
I was like, did the game straight up crash or what's happening here? So yeah, it's little things like that.
Time to get out of this joint. Turn the screw. There you go.
I like how you're judging yourself. Mind you, I don't think I'm going to be playing the game this entire playthrough. It's going to be mainly chase, so...
Yeah, I think you only touched the controller for a little bit. It's been pretty much me the whole time.
We're going to get some backstory. This is all stuff that Miharu knows, and because this is other games that I've never played. Chronologically, I'm on the second game, and I'm not even like halfway through it yet. And then I bought the third game, so I have up to the first 3 Ratchet games, but I've only ever beaten the first one of the original 3.
The original trilogy?
See, because Ratchet goes weird. It's like, there's, like, the first...
Ratchet goes weird.
The franchise goes in a weird direction. They're the first 3, and then there's, I think, another 1 or 2 more. And they're not explicitly Ratchet 4 and 5, but I think they technically are considered that. And then they did this weird, like, world-building retool thing where they made the Ratchet and Clank Future series. It's called Ratchet and Clank Future, and then it has its own, it's a Crack in Time. I think Quest for Booty is part of that one. And then there's Into the Nexus. Into the Nexus was an inspiration for this one, I think. Because this one's like a semi-sequel to that one, but that's why he says we haven't been heroic in years, and I think they were referencing the last canonical Ratchet game before there was like a small 3 or 4 year break, and then there was like the reboot game, and then it's this one. So the Future series is like its own kind of like soft reboot, I think. Soft reboot, I think. I don't know what happened to my voice there. Also, her name's Kit, so there we go. She picked the name.
Kit.
Because Ratchet goes, what about Sunshine? Because you're yellow. She's like, no.
Pass.
How about Kit? I don't fucking know. And now she's like, yes, Kit. And here's where everyone's like, she's gonna kill herself? Oh, quite the contrary.
Nope. She's gonna go Omega Beast mode.
That was something I wasn't expecting. Because you forget, because they don't do that very often. Because Clank can do the same thing, and I think I explained that to you.
She kind of reminds me of the Iron Giant right there.
I think more people than just you have also made that comparison before. It's a very easy comparison to make. Plus the message is quote unquote sort of the same. She's like, I was meant to kill, but I don't want to. Because she's a Warbot, and in the original games, Chairman Drek, who was the first villain of the Ratchet series in the first game, he made an army of Warbots, and he kind of looked like that. And Clank was a Warbot. He was meant to be, but he came out all the way he looks, so they considered him a reject and were trying to get rid of him, and he escaped the factory, and then he took a ship and just got the hell out of there, and then he crash landed on Ratchet's planet, and that's how they met. In this universe, or in her universe, or because I don't know if this Savali is actually her universe, I'm assuming it is, she was a Warbot. She's going to explain it here. She was actually successful, good at her job, wounded someone very mortally, and then was like, okay, I almost killed a person, so I don't want to do that no more.
Yeah.
There's the aforementioned person. Jesus Christ. Now, mind you, she missed. That's all I'm going to say. But, like, it's like, how the fuck? Look at the fire!
Yeah, I know.
Jesus, you sure you didn't kill them?
Are you sure about that?
Oh, Ratchet. Always the optimist. Yeah, that's a whole other... I don't even know if we had a discussion here. That's a whole other discussion. Everyone's always like, okay, Ratchet as a character, I think I might have explained a little bit of it to you, but in the very first game, Mikey Kelly was the voice of Ratchet. Here it's James Arnold Taylor, and not that you need to know that for specific reasons, but the direction and the voice they went with for Ratchet was more of a surfer dude vibe in the very beginning, and in the very first game, they kind of painted him as like, I'm a cool guy, what's up? And like, he was kind of a dick because he would straight up be like, shut up, Clank, or whatever. And he was like, he was kind of a dick. And some people found it endearing. Some people were like, well, most were like, I don't know about that. So they changed him and he became more of a Mickey Mouse, like, let's go guys, out for adventure. And that's the portrayal we see here. And it's a whole thing. And so, in terms of where I am, on which side I fall on for that kind of...
Repulsor.
Void Repulsor's awesome. Can't buy it. In terms of where I fall on that kind of stance, where my stance is on that topic, I kind of like both, but I would rather there be... If they had to change him again for any reason, personality-wise, I'd rather they do like a middle ground thing, where they kind of keep him a little sarcastic, but not enough to where he feels like he's a prick. Because he was kind of a prick in the very, very first game. I think after that, they wrote him... Mikey Kelly, I don't know if that was the only game he voiced Ratchet in, or if he voiced him in the second game. At that point, it might have been James Arnold Taylor. But, because he's been like the long-standing, like he is Ratchet now. But when it was Mikey Kelly and with the original representation, I think they dropped it really, really fast. But it's funny because Insomniac also suffered with that problem with Spyro, because in the very first Spyro game, it's Carlos Ellis Rocky who voiced Crocker in For the Odd Parents. He was the Taco Bell Chihuahua. He gave him a kind of like, I'm gonna torch those guys, and then like, but he wasn't much of a dick as Ratchet ended up being in the very first Ratchet game. But Spyro kind of had that about him on a lesser scale, and then immediately by Spyro 2, it was Tom Kenny. So Tom Kenny is like the Spyro now, and it was really funny. They gave him a different kind of personality for the most part. It was really funny. But that's Ratchet. You're trying to figure out like what do I upgrade?
Yes. I know. I already finished the Dick and Balls, so.
That's right. Also, we'll actually see if you click on the thing here, or I guess if you go to the next available one, you'll see there's an option. Yeah, chain select, which I forgot we could do. So you're not going to see us use chain select for the next few parts because they've already been recorded, but the next session that we get, and we'll probably let you know when the next session, when we're caught up and we're in the next recording session, we should start using chain select, because you could just click one and go do, and then they'll just bam.
Instead of me going one,
unlock all those for you. Yeah.
One,
yeah. Because I forgot it was a thing and I forgot to explain it to you. Anyway, that's it.
Yep, we're done with the post commentary. Hopefully, cross our fingers here.
Yes.
Thank you for sticking around anyway.
Yeah, to the
Hope
next
you
time.
enjoyed our conversations.
Yay. I'm sorry I didn't let you talk. So say some stuff in the end slate.
Stuff for the end slate. Look at those little flying bird things.
No one can see them. It's the end slate.
Oh, but they were there. I'm sorry you can't see them. They were really cool.
Thank God we're done with post commentary.